Happening now, ice and freezing rain causes trouble for some drivers today. Dakota with when this blast of winter weather will come to an end. And a popular summertime concert series is seeking a new home. We speak with the founder of the group next about why. Plus, when will New York's mask mandate for kids in schools be pulled back? Governor Kathy Hochul is expected to announce that soon.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is a First Defense weather alert.
Icy roads caused some travel trouble for those on their way to work Friday morning. Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now, and we start with local weather coverage. Mixed precipitation provided for a slow go in many parts of western New York and northwestern Pennsylvania early in the morning. Even major thoroughfares like Route 62 between Jamestown and Warren and Route 60 between Jamestown and Dunkirk were covered with slushy ice. Side streets, including brick roads here in Jamestown, were also impacted with a layer of icy drizzle across much of our area. Now, with more on how long this weather is expected to continue is our Dakota Hunter. Dakota.
Well, Justin, as of right now, the snow has mainly stopped, and it's mainly to the north where we're still seeing the snow. But the good news is the winter weather advisory that was set to go until 4 o'clock this afternoon has been canceled by the Weather Service. So basically, we are not going to meet the winter weather advisory criteria because much of the precipitation has now since come to an end. But we are still going to see a few snowflakes through the afternoon hours and maybe still some limited patches of sleet. So the snowfall totals were really insignificant across much of the area, and this had to do with the sleet and the freezing rain that was mixing in. Did you notice your car was frozen shut this morning? And this is the reason why we had that freezing rain, and then also it held down the snow totals. The most we could find across the southern tier was in Dunkirk at 1.2 inches with only a trace here in the city of Jamestown. As of the almanac, we topped out in the 20s yesterday, and we started the day, well, actually in the 30s. We started the day in the 20s throughout much of the region. Now the snow is going to continue through the afternoon hours, but it will be breezy with wind gusts around 20 to 30 miles an hour. The temperatures will be in the 20s, and then we'll ultimately end the day in the teens. And we've still got a little bit of cool air on the way. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, Justin.
A decision on the future of masking in the classroom in New York State could come as soon as next week. Our Alana Wingate joins us live in the newsroom today with more on what state officials have to say. Alana?
Justin, New York Governor Kathy Hochul isn't sugarcoating anything when discussing the fight to keep students learning in person, which is why she says masking is an important aspect. However, there is still push underway to unmask kids in classes across the Empire State. Earlier this month, Governor lifted the indoor mask mandate. However, the school's requirement in place.
I've said this for a number of weeks now. We're watching the numbers, and what I also am doing aggressively is getting out testing kits. We have over 20 million test kits that have already been distributed to schools.
As students return to the classroom fresh from winter break on Monday, Governor Hochul is asking parents to get their kids tested for COVID-19. After that, she plans to look at the data and could make a decision on laxing requirements.
So always be driven by the data that is in front of us, continuing to reduce the number of cases, the number of hospitalizations. The vaccinations are going up.
An important step in lifting the mandate in schools is getting youth vaccinated.
We are number one among the large states for a fully vaccinated total population. We're number one among large states for fully vaccinated 12 to 17-year-olds, something we've been pushing very intently.
Hochul then addressed parents, specifically urging them to, quote, take the extra step.
They're here. There's plenty of vaccination sites. It's easy to find. And if you can just take that extra step of getting your children vaccinated, or if they're already fully vaccinated, let them get the boosted, the extra fortification that they have just in case we have to go through this again.
The governor is doubling down on the ability vaccination clinics, saying that they are open for parents and their children, along with free COVID testing site-wide, including in schools. For more information, where to get vaccinated is posted online at coronavirus.health.ny.gov. Live in the newsroom, Alana Wingate, WNY News Now.
Alana, thank you. And as the coronavirus pandemic enters what officials are calling this endemic phase, they're touting the abundance of testing as a way to live with the virus. This weekend, there's several options to get free at-home testing right here in Chautauqua County. The Health Department and Office of Emergency Services are hosting a drive-through event to distribute free COVID-19 rapid at-home test kits this Sunday from 1 to 4. That's in the parking lot of the Emergency Services Building at 2 Academy Street in Mayville. Now, those who can't make it to that event in person can order kits for free online at chqgov.com. Every household in the U.S. is eligible to order up to 4 free testing kits. If you need a test but don't want to do an at-home test, there is free testing here in Jamestown at the South County Office Building and at SUNY Fredonia each week. Registration also posted on the county's website. A popular summertime concert series on Chautauqua Lake is now looking for a new home. The Chautauqua Lake Pops announced after a lengthy discussion with their board, sponsors, and some ticket holders, they'll be looking to relocate out of the village of Mayville. The reason? Officials cite the lack of cooperation, trust, and financial support from the community. Last summer, the concert organizers were sued in an effort to halt the production. Plaintiffs from Mayville, DeWittville, and an Ohio native accused the Pops and the village of Mayville of attempting to operate without environmental permits. They claimed the summer concert events created excessive levels of noise that disturbed the peace. Now, following legal setbacks, the show did go on with a temporary permit issued last summer. The concert's founders, Dan Dalpra, tells us that the group is going to try and keep that program on Chautauqua Lake, however, is looking for places around the region. He says there is interest in bringing the Pops to Bemis Point, where they originated 20 years ago, or to the Riverwalk in Jamestown behind the National Comedy Center, or even to Celeron at the Chautauqua Harbor Hotel.
To me, it's just a shame. After this many years, I don't know how much more evidence or proof you need that it's a great program. We have gotten such a response from around, from Buffalo to Cleveland to Pittsburgh, all over. People who come from Canada saying, geez, we just are so heartbroken by this.
Nevertheless, wherever the Pops relocate to, the founder tells us they need to have a substantial sponsor to fund the series as the pandemic has been financially difficult. If they can't find a home relatively soon, he says performances will likely not take place this summer. As WNY News Now continues, the latest in the search for a stolen vehicle in Jamestown that fled police yesterday, officers now able to identify the driver. And later, we're hearing more about our county executive's plan for 2022 and the efforts that are already underway. We'll be right back. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
Now is the time to make your real estate move. Call us to list your home in Cattaraugus County. Choose the #1 real estate team in Ellicottville. Call Team Pritchard, 716-575-SELL. The market is hot. Call 716-575-SELL today.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Jamestown police are asking for your help in finding a stolen vehicle that fled officers yesterday. And just moments ago, they identified the driver as 21-year-old Joseph Markoff from New York City. Police attempted to stop his black 2019 Mazda CX-5 on West 6th Street at Clinton Street around 1:40 in the afternoon. Now, Markoff, along with another male, refused to roll down the windows, officers say, and cooperate with patrol before fleeing that scene at a high rate of vehicle. Following an investigation, they found that vehicle was stolen out of New York City. It fled southbound on Foote Avenue to Ivory Street and then turned westbound onto Cole Avenue. Police say that vehicle has a New York registration bearing JMH 7363. The department released these photos of security video and body camera showing the driver and passenger. Anyone who might recognize these folks are asked to contact police at 716-483-7537. Officers tell us that they are seeking warrants against Markoff and charges will be placed. Those looking towards 2022 include Chautauqua County Executive, who hopes to strengthen our communities, grow our economy, and invest in our future. Our Julia Grass with more from Executive P.J. Wendell, who outlined his goals for the upcoming year during his State of the County address this week.
One way in which Executive P.J. Wendell hopes to strengthen our communities is through enhancing the healthcare system by expanding behavioral health services in northern Chautauqua County to help alleviate additional strain.
We will work with DHHS, Department of Health and Human Services, the Chautauqua County Department of Mental Hygiene, Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office, our local partners and providers to address the concerns of behavioral health needs and the drug epidemic right here in Chautauqua County.
The executive noted the importance of collaboration between law enforcement agencies.
The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office was recently awarded a comprehensive opioid stimulant and substance abuse program, COSAP, grant to confront the drug epidemic in a smart on crime, holistic approach. The Sheriff's Office will be working with a variety of service providers and organizations in the county to address and reduce the issues associated with the drug epidemic.
Accessibility to physical and behavioral health services for North County residents will also improve with the anticipated sale of the former Lakeshore Hospital. Additionally, Wendell is hopeful that state funding will come through for relocating Brooks Memorial Hospital. The county is also supporting the Strong Start Chautauqua program, which develops the physical and mental strength of children from birth to age 5. Chautauqua County will also assist homeowners in their homes.
The Health Department is also in partnership with the City of Jamestown Department of Development and was awarded $2 million Healthy Homes HUD grant. This grant will assist city homeowners and rental property owners with improving their properties and eliminating health and safety issues in their homes.
Wendell hopes to expand sewer and water systems, broadband, and encourage tourism. To expand broadband, Chautauqua County will be partnering with ECC Technologies to conduct a survey which will accurately map the needs of the county. The executive has his sights set on a strong economic future for the county, starting with new developments.
Going forward, the CCIDA has goals to acquire large parcels of land for expansion and shovel-ready sites. They will also are in the process of reactivating several high-profile buildings right here in Chautauqua County, including the Furniture Mart building, the White Inn, the former Silver Creek High School on Main Street, the ConAgra building, and the former NRG power plant.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Finally, the executive goes on to say that workforce development initiatives will be expanded to provide qualified candidates for jobs across Chautauqua County. And a Republican candidate for New York governor made a campaign stop in the Southern Tier yesterday. Harry Wilson is the latest candidate to join the field of Republicans vying for the GOP nomination for governor. A businessman from Johnstown in Fulton County, Wilson said his experience working with failing organizations and businesses to turn them around is what makes him the ideal candidate to lead the state of New York. He says the same approach needs to be taken in Albany. Wilson is the 6th GOP candidate to join the primary field. He told our news partner WNY News his experience in making business operate successfully helps him stand out among the other candidates.
The state desperately needs a turnaround, and I'm the only person in the field who has 30 years of experience, the highest levels of American business of actually getting that done. I think that skill set, the experience, and the guts to get what needs to be done is essential to success.
Wilson announced his candidacy earlier in the week with a $12 million advertising campaign. He's in the midst of a 3-day, 10-stop tour across the state. And as the winter season reaches its peak, many folks might need to send their snowblowers in for maintenance and repairs. Erie News Now's Keelan Berrien has more on the uptick in just that.
Since Erie is infamous for snow, we try our best to prepare and stay ahead of the game. All year, the family-owned business Garlock Power Equipment were having a hard time getting new snowblowers in. Recently, he got a shipment for more.
This week, we got some Toro snowblowers in, the gas-powered and some battery-powered models. So we got about 12 new snowblowers in.
This can be helpful because more snow is forecasted in the area. All this week, he's been getting snowblowers that are in need of repairs.
We're getting pretty well caught up. We had a big overload from those first couple of storms, but we got through most of those. We have a couple stragglers coming in now.
Behind me, there are rows of snowblowers that were brought in needing repairs. Just this week alone, Garlock says he received about 30 of them. Normally, they take about a week for them to be fixed.
Most manufacturers have been pretty good with getting us parts in a timely manner. There have been a couple where we've been waiting weeks or maybe a month or so for parts that are on a bad back order.
So if your snowblower is fixed and ready to go, and planning on clearing your driveway or sidewalks, PennDOT has a few words for you.
Don't push the snow back out onto the road because that makes a hazardous situation for others.
Jill Harry is the press officer for PennDOT Northwest Region.
Put it to the right and then clear a little bit of space even before your driveway out close to the road. So when the plows come down, they don't deposit all of the snow directly into your driveway. They'll push a lot of it there before they get to the driveway. And then a little bit will maybe just end up in the entrance of your driveway.
Keelan Berrien, Erie News Now.
Keelan, thank you. Coming up, how the new sanctions on Russia will impact us here in Western New York. We hear from our DC correspondent. And later, are you looking for a new pet? Well, you're in luck. Our Pet of the Week segment features a new kitty cat that's up for adoption. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
This winter, let New York State take your breath away. Come be a part of it. Plan your winter getaway at iloveny.com.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back. And even though it doesn't look like it, this is a live look over Mayville. The camera is actually frozen over. And so I just wanted to show this just to show you that this is what you're woke up to this morning. And even if you're just getting up, if you didn't have to work today, yeah, this is what you're going to be waking up to, some freezing conditions. Now, kind of wanted to explain the differences we're seeing, kind of the differences between the different winter weather precipitation types, and it all has to do with that red area. That's the warm air, and it always has to do with where the placement of the warm air is. If the warm air is down low, the precipitation is going to fall as rain. If it's kind of wedged in between the middle, we're going to get freezing rain or sleet, and if there's no warm air, it'll all fall as snow, because all precipitation falls as snow. When it first comes out of the cloud, it's all snow. It always depends on the warm air down low to shift it to some rain. So there's your little science thing for today, and wanted to show you the Lake Erie ice coverage because, we had some clearing skies yesterday to give us a good look at the ice concentration. Right now down to 65% across the entire lake, and yeah, you can even see the ice concentration on Chautauqua Lake and even the snowpack across the region as well. Isn't satellites beautiful? Live look downtown right now shows you lots of clouds. 17, this is down from our high for today. We will continue to fall downhill. A northwest wind of 13 makes it feel more like 3 degrees, and there is some limited fog out there at the airport at 1.5 miles. So First Defense Doppler radar showing you where the snow is now, mainly from central Chautauqua County to the north. That's where most of this snow is, and it's mostly on the lighter side. So again, after this moves on through, we're pretty much going to be done with the snow throughout much of the day. But here's that storm system that moved on through, low pressure area off to the east. Snow continues to the northeast and up in the Tug Hill region, and then going out into New England. But notice how there's really not much going on back to the west. We will see some of that moving in for the weekend. So the computer modeling shows you a couple light snow showers from time to time through the afternoon hours today. Nothing big there. Clouds will rule throughout today and tonight. And then tomorrow, even though it's not depicted here, there will be a few scattered snow showers from time to time. Better chance from central Chautauqua County and also central Cat County as well. But other than that, the second half of the weekend does look like it'll turn a little bit drier. So if any of those snow showers do accumulate, we could see upwards of an additional 1 to 3 inches, the lesser amounts further to the south. 9 to 14 tonight with a few limited snow showers. Now the next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So again, we're talking about some light snow showers for Sunday, but then it kind of turns drier as we go into early next week and into the first half of the month. And it looks like we stay dry for maybe the first week of March, Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you. Well, the national news now, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention is changing their metrics used to determine COVID-19 restrictions, including wearing a mask. That's according to a CDC scientist involved in the process. The announcement, which will come Friday, will say community levels of disease will not be determined by cases alone, but rather cases that led to a significant consequence like hospitalizations and deaths. The CDC says it's adjusting its metric for 2 main reasons. More people are vaccinated and the Omicron variant symptoms are comparatively mild. The group's current map shows 97% of counties are at high or substantial transmission. The upcoming updated metrics will likely cause those numbers to go down. And 3 former Minneapolis police officers have been found guilty of violating George Floyd's civil rights. A federal jury found the Toe Alexander Kug and Thomas Lane showed deliberate indifference to Floyd's medical needs in May 2020. The 12 jurors also found that 2 officers failed to intervene to stop Chauvin from kneeling on Floyd's neck, which ultimately killed him. The jury deliberated for about 13 hours over 2 days. The maximum sentence for these crimes are life in prison or the death penalty. But federal sentencing guidelines suggest the former officers will receive a lesser sentence. In December, Chauvin pled guilty to civil rights violations related to Floyd's murder. He's facing between 20 and 25 years in prison. And President Biden is handing down additional sanctions on Russia as the assault on Ukraine continues today. So how will that impact us here at home? Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
We're going to impose major, and we're going to impair their ability to compete in high-tech 21st century economy.
Following Russia's advancement into Ukraine, President Biden says the U.S. and other countries are imposing harsher sanctions on Russia. targeting more Russian oligarchs and hitting their government financially.
So I think what Joe Biden needs to do is he really needs to try to cushion the blow, or at least prepare people for the blow that's going to happen in the midst of an already problematic economy for many Americans.
Todd Belt, the director of the political management program at George Washington University, says Americans could also feel the impacts of these sanctions.
I think we're going to see gas prices increase. Fuel prices will certainly be going up. We've seen that already spike this morning. I think that will continue. We've seen some rumblings in the stock market.
U.S. officials have warned various sectors to brace for supply chain disruptions. Russia is a major exporter of heavy metals like titanium used in airplanes, and one of the largest suppliers of a rare metal used in catalytic converters. Ukraine and Russia both produce fertilizer in large quantities. The lack of exports could hurt agriculture in Europe the most, but it could have an impact on food prices here at home. People already feel the pain at the pumps as prices have been some of the highest in recent time. According to AAA, 1 year ago, we had a national average of $2.66 per gallon. Yesterday's average was $3.53, and today's average has bumped up by a penny. Belt says when fuel prices go up, it has a trickling effect throughout the economy.
Food, which needs to be transported, becomes much more expensive. All goods that need to get to market become more expensive. And inflation is a problem right now.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. In an effort to help our furry friends find a forever home, we're partnered with the Chautauqua County Humane Society in our Pet of the Week segment. Joining us live in studio today is Jen Barkowski to talk more about this week's featured furry friend. Hello, Jen.
Hello.
Who have you brought in?
I have brought Lacey, who's snuggling on my lap right now. She's approximately 3 years old. She came in as a stray a few weeks back. And she actually suffered from frostbite on her ears and lost both of the tips of them.
Yeah, it's certainly really important. I think a lot of people, maybe they don't think about that, where their animals are just like humans, can suffer the effects of nature. I know she seems like she's pretty chill, just hanging on in your lap. Can you tell us what she's like?
That's pretty much what she's like. She's very snuggly. She's in our cat colony right now, so she does get along with other cats just fine. She's very tiny. Yeah, just super sweet. This is her.
Perfect. So how do you think if there's, say, a family watching and maybe they're looking for a first-time pet, maybe a cat, how do you think she might pair with something like that?
I think she would do just fine. She is being a trooper for this, so I think she'll do fine in anything new.
Absolutely. And looking at her face, she has a pretty cool, it looks like coloration there. Can you kind of describe that and talk about it for us?
She's a gorgeous little tiny calico kitty. Yeah, long hair, medium to long. And this, if she's 3 years old, this is as big as she's going to get. She just might get a little chubbier. She's a little skinny right now.
Yeah, it looks like she almost maybe dubbed her face in ink.
Yes, it does. Yeah, just that.
So that's awesome. And have she tested with dogs yet? Do you know?
We don't do that.
Okay, so from what you can tell, is it good with dogs? Not good? Probably meet and greet would necessarily.
We wouldn't do a meet and greet, but I mean, she's got a pretty laid back personality. If it was a dog that was respectful of cats, I'd give it a go.
All right. Yeah, there's that never-ending feud, cat and dog. So, of course, our furry friend here is with so many at the Humane Society, and you mentioned she lives in the cat colony. I know Brian has taken us live in there before to show us what that's like. Being able to be in that environment, that helps socialize her, I would imagine.
It does. It lets us know her personality if she gets along with cats, number one. But they get to exercise and socialize. We have bird feeders outside of the window, so they get kitty TV, and we actually do have a cat TV in there as well. That's got birds on it as well. Lots of toys. They have an exercise wheel, levels to run on. It's very good enrichment for them.
Absolutely. Well, Jen, thank you so much for bringing in our friend Lacey today. And of course, to learn more about her or any of the other residents of the shelter, it's so easy. Just head on over to chqhumane.org. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, News 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here live at noon on Monday.